Today I am here with you making summer corn recipes, and I'm super excited. But before we get started, I'm your host, Kathy. I am a plant-based lifestyle mindset coach, cookbook, three-time cookbook author, and the CEO of VegInspired, and I love making recipes to help you eat more plants. So that's what we're on a mission to do tonight. Tonight we're going to explore some summer corn recipes. I have a couple of different corn options to share with you today, so I'm really excited. Right now, just so that you know, I do have some corn on the cob cooking in this pot, so that timer's going to go off at some point during this. So tell me where you're tuning in from. Where are you calling in from? I'm calling in tonight from Ohio. We're still in Ohio, and it's a beautiful sunny day. It's been raining the last 2 days, and so the sun is out now. It looks so pretty and so summery. So I'm coming to you live from Ohio, but let me know where you are tuning in from. And one of the things that I always like to tell you in the beginning is this is live. This is real life live. You're in my VegInspired kitchen, which if you don't know, I do travel the United States full time in a fifth wheel RV. So that's how I'm coming to you from Ohio. In a few weeks, I'll be coming to you from PA, and you'll just get to watch me travel the country. But tonight we're going to make some corn recipes. So as I mentioned, in that pot on the back stove, I have a couple of ears of corn that are cooking. Now, I don't know if you know this, but I found these at Whole Foods. I bought fresh corn when I was testing this recipe, but I wanted to also try it with these frozen ears of corn so that I could test it again. And what I thought this was so cool is Whole Foods sells frozen on the cob mini corn on the cob. So we have 3 of those cooking. I am going to stick these back in our freezer, but I wanted to show you those from Whole Foods. So they're just mini ears of corn, and I've just got them boiling right here on the stove in the back. So awesome. I see some more of you have joined in. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And we're making corn recipes tonight. So I have some ears of corn cooking on the stove back here. In the meantime, I have some grilled corn or fire roasted corn. Now, you can grill your own corn on your grill yourself, or you can do what I did. Since it's been raining, I cheated a little bit with this organic corn from Whole Foods. It's not sponsored, but they do have organic corn in their freezer section, and that's so cool. So in my bowl, I have about a cup of the fire roasted corn. Now I'm making about half of a recipe. If you were going to serve this to a group of people, you would want to use at least 2 cups of corn, so that you have enough for everybody to have a good serving. We're also going to put in 1 green onion that I'm going to slice fairly thin. I'm going to use both the white and the green parts of the onion. This would be faster if I doubled it. Did 2 at a time, then 3 at a time. So I'm just cutting this on a slight bias all the way through. So that's probably, I don't know, about a good 2 tablespoons of green onion. So we're going to put some green onion in here. Now this is just a simple corn salad. You could, liven it up a little bit with some beans. You could put your favorite, black beans or chickpeas or pinto beans. I just wanted to go all veg with this one, keeping it pretty simple, using vegetables that you might be able to grab at your farmer's market. You might be able to get a spring onion. You might be able to get some spring tomatoes. So we're going to cut up these grape tomatoes. Now I'm going to cut them pretty small, and I'm going to measure it out. I want about a half a cup of the tomatoes for my to my 1 cup of corn. So if you were doubling this recipe and doing 2 cups of corn, you probably would use, a cup of the tomatoes, and you'd also probably use 2 green onions. And then you're just cutting away. I'm just cutting away, getting things done to make this yummy corn recipe for you. We're going to flavor it up with some spices. And I'm just using grape tomatoes, but you could use any tomato that you have. If you have Roma tomatoes, if you have cherry tomatoes, if you have, heirloom tomatoes, you can just cut them into small pieces. It's a pretty forgiving salad. If you didn't have a green onion, you could use a sweet onion. You could use a red onion. I always like to, when I'm using fresh, so here's a Kathy quick tip. When I'm using fresh onions in something like this, I like to rinse them. So when you rinse a fresh onion, it helps to cut that potency of the onion, making them not so potent in your salad. So if I'm going to be using a fresh onion in a salad like this, I like to rinse those onions. I do the same thing if I'm making guacamole or a fresh pico de gallo, or even if I'm cutting up those onions to be a topping for a taco. I just give them a quick rinse. So this is about a half a cup of these small chopped diced tomatoes. So we're gonna put those in there. And then this is about a, oh, my corn's done. About a good tablespoon of chopped cilantro. And actually, the funny thing is, I was going to chop the cilantro first because I'm going to give you another Kathy quick tip. Maybe I'll make that a series. Should I make that a series on our YouTube, on our regular YouTube channels, YouTube videos, Kathy quick tip? We'll do like a whole episode segment where I, pan away and make something fancy happen, some transition. It's going to be like Kathy's quick tip. So Kathy's quick tip today for cilantro is I always store my cilantro in like a little reused jar, a little mason jar if you have them, or a jar from something else that you've, salsa. But the quick tip is if you wash your cilantro first, so I bring it home, I spray it with some vinegar, I give it a good wash, then I quick fill the glass with water, I trim the ends, I get it in there, and then I store my cilantro in my refrigerator with a produce bag over top of it. It lasts for a few weeks, and the pro tip about washing it ahead of time is that then you're not cutting wet leaves on your cutting board. Like I was able to get, because I cut it off to the side, I was able to get almost all of the leaves up from the cutting board. So that's a pro tip. Then we're going to use, I'm going to use about a fourth of this avocado for this recipe. And my avocados are not, it's like a weird avocado. It was like, part of it is soft and part of it is hard. So we'll see how this works, because it was very, very hard to chop in half. Okay, so now I'm going to try to dice this. I actually like to see if I can peel it. Yeah, it's super hard at the bottom. So like the top of the avocado is soft, but this bottom of this avocado is hard as a rock. I'm not going to be able to probably use all of that, so we'll just have to see. Uh-oh, I have a furry visitor coming. No, you need to get down. You don't fit. Nope. 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 Can you get down? Can you get down? Get down, baby. Get down. Come on, we're live. Get down. Thank you. He doesn't even eat these things. He does like corn. That's probably what he smells. Okay. So this is one of those goofy avocados. Every now and then we get a goofy avocado that's not ripe, but it's definitely not ripe. Okay. So we're just going to dice this up. Yeah, that is not ripe. Okay. It's a very strange avocado because, like I said, the top part is most definitely ripe, but the bottom part is not. So I'm just going to cut it into little small pieces. We're going to test it in this recipe. It might be something that we pick out. And you can cut it into really small pieces, fine pieces. You can leave the avocado out if you're not eating avocado or you don't like avocado. You can leave the cilantro out if you don't like avocado. I always like to give you options so that you don't feel like you have to eat it exactly the way that I make it. Let me just rinse off my knife. I always try to rinse off my sharp knives so that they don't get all sticky and then you have to scrub a sharp knife. That's not very great. Okay, so here's my salad. It has about a cup of corn, half a cup of tomatoes, about a big tablespoon of cilantro, a half of an avocado, and 1 green onion. So it's a very colorful, very like confetti colored salad. And then what we're going to add to it is lime juice. So I'm going to do about a tablespoon and a half. If you were making, obviously if you were doubling this recipe, you would use like 3 tablespoons of lime. Then we just toss it. And then I forgot the salt and pepper. I'm going to give it a couple of cracks of fresh pepper and just a pinch of salt. Not very much salt. It doesn't need a lot of salt. The roasted corn just makes this recipe so delicious. You guys, and that's your simple summer corn salad. I mean, most of these things you could get out of your own garden or at a fresh stand. You could grill the corn yourself. You could grill the corn the night before and then put it in the, cut it off the cob and put it in the fridge and then mix this up for, for dinner that night. You can also sprinkle in some peppery spices. So you could do paprika, you could do smoked paprika, you could add chipotle powder, you could add chili powder. I mean, any of those types of peppery spices just add another layer of flavor. So I'm just going to add a tiny bit of paprika just for a little peppery. If you would prefer to do fresh, you could do bell pepper in there. I mean, that's the thing. You want to be thinking about ways that you can eat more plants, eat some diversity. Okay, let me taste this and then we're going to get to these corn on the cob. So let me know where you're tuning in from. Like I said, I'm just going to give myself a little taste. So this is my grilled corn or fire roasted corn salad. And it has fire roasted corn in it, tomatoes. So fire roasted corn, tomatoes, green onion, cilantro, avocado, lime juice, salt and pepper to taste, and then a little bit of paprika. And I know they're delicious because because I've had this before. But you have that smoky roastedness from the corn, and then you have the creaminess of the avocado and the little bite of tang from the tomatoes. I mean, it really is delicious. The avocado seems okay in the salad. It just was a very difficult one to cut. Okay. Now for this corn on the cob. So you've got your little corn on the cob that was frozen, remember? That I boiled according to the package instructions. Okay. Now, this is the second recipe. And I'm going to tell you, it doesn't really feel like a recipe, but I think your mind will be blown when you realize what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take the soft part of this avocado, which again, wasn't much of it because it was a goofy avocado. And I'm the only one eating this, so I'm going to mash it with my own fork because I didn't bring another fork. And I'm going to mash, we're just going to do it right on the cutting board because this is not a very great avocado. Okay, so I'm going to mash this avocado into a spreadable paste. You know what I'm going to do. Because how many of you went plant-based and you used to eat, let me know in the comments, how many of you went plant-based and you used to eat butter on your corn on the cob? And now you're like, the salt won't stick. Well, try this. You're going to take your avocado and you're just going to brush it on here. Now, you could totally use this avocado secret that's going to be now released to the public on via YouTube. You could take this secret and you could use this for the creamy corn that's slipping my mind right now. I can see it on a menu, but I cannot for the life of me think of what it is. The like corn with the mayonnaise and the cojita cheese and like spices. You could totally use the avocado for the mayo in that recipe. Guys, Is your mind as blown as mine? Like, I was just sitting here one day and I'm like, wait a minute. You make avocado toast. What if you made avocado corn on the cob? You could throw you could do a little pepper on top of it. You could also put a little of the paprika. You could put a little taco seasoning, a little chili powder. So let's give it a taste. I should have brought my napkin. What I love about the avocado is that, one, everything sticks. Everything sticks to it. So the pepper sticks, the salt sticks, the avocado sticks right to the corn. And this corn is super sweet. And still very hot from being cooked just now. But you guys, using the avocado, the mashed avocado, and I didn't use that much. Maybe a tablespoon. I mean, it wasn't even the whole it wasn't even the top part of it. You don't need that much. You could do just a little bit of it and butter your corn with the avocado, and then add whatever spices you want to your corn. So let me know in the comments if you're mind blown. You could chop up some cilantro and put it on there. And so you're making this like different way of eating something that we normally eat with a non-plant-based ingredient, and we're making it with a plant-based ingredient. And so that's what we're trying to do here, is stretch your mind and give you some options to eat more plants in a way that fits your goals. If you're trying to be a whole food plant-based eater, eating corn and avocado is definitely in alignment versus trying to eat butter. And a lot of times I will just eat my corn without the salt and pepper, or with just a little bit of pepper, and if it doesn't stick, the corn is so good, like, it doesn't matter. But this really allows it to stick, so you're not losing that flavor, and you don't have to use that much avocado to make it happen. So let me know, are you as like, whoa, that's a great idea, I'm gonna grab some corn and avocados this weekend because it's so good? Let me know in the comments below. Like I said, this is just 2 really easy summer corn recipes. Honestly, I thought about trying to do like 3 or 4 recipes for you, but it just became to where I was like, we gotta keep this simple. Eating plant-based doesn't have to be hard. And one of the other things I wanted to talk to you about tonight is I'm running a promo right now in the Successfully Plant-Based membership, where you save over $100 for the next 6 months of access to our Successfully Plant-Based membership. Every week we meet and we meal plan, we go over recipes, we answer your questions, we talk about, how do you meal plan when your whole family doesn't eat this way? How do you meal plan when you want to be whole food plant-based but everybody else is eating corn with butter? You just grab an avocado, right? How do I meal plan when I'm really busy? How do I meal plan when I want to be just laid back in the summer and eat a lot of grilled veggies? And, we really try to capture all of the different scenarios that you could have. So if you're interested in the membership, I will put a link down below. The June price is $100 less for 6 months. So if you save well over $100 if you opt in for the 6 months. And I'll put the link down in the description. I didn't add it before this call because I wasn't sure if it would go live before this call or not, but it did go live this afternoon. If you can also comment June in the comments and I'll send you the direct link. So if you're watching this and you're like, June, let me know. I want to know. I want it. Make sure you comment, and I will make sure that you get that as well. That's all I have for you. I know it's a short one. We'll be back next week with some more recipes. I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna do. I really have this dessert idea in mind, but I just launched the raspberry bars last Thursday, and I have another dessert coming out this Thursday. So make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss any of these new recipes. I promise we are gonna keep doing all of these summer type recipes and really help you eat more plants as you navigate your plant-based journey. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Thanks so much for tuning in. Let me know if you're gonna try one of these corn recipes and if you think it's a fantastic idea to spread a little avocado on your corn. Until next week, or until our next video, eat more plants and live veg inspired. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.